Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another Chart Nerd TA video. First off, I want to apologize. I'm recording with my phone today, and yesterday's update was with my phone as well. I'm having some technical difficulties with the computer and the speakers and inputs and outputs and whatnot. So until they're solved, please forgive me. I'm going to have to record through my phone. But anyways, thank you for supporting. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you do enjoy the content. And yeah, let's dive in. So welcome back to Bitcoin. This is on the weekly time frame. So I've got two trend lines in. Okay, trend lines are trend lines. I understand they could mean something, they could mean anything. Okay, so please do take this as you will. But there's some very significant price action that's happened between these two trend lines here. So you can see that this whole space, okay, this whole space here is from 2021 to 2022 current. Okay, so this is the range that we're in at the moment. You can see that not much has happened. It's been sideways action. Okay. And within this, you can still see, okay, that you're holding higher lows as you're moving up. So this trend line is on the closes, the weekly candle closes. This trend line here is weekly candle close on resistance and support as well. I'm going to get into these in a minute, okay? But you can see that right now we are holding this ascending level of support, okay? Currently, you know, if we lose that, I do believe it's going to be quite negative. But for this whole year, we've been holding this rising level of support, okay, on the weekly time frame. So when you zoom out, it gives a better perspective and picture, you could say. And so yeah, that buying down at these sort of levels, whenever you've come down to it on this trend line, has been fruitful. So what's to say that where we are now isn't going to be fruitful for buying here? Okay, so there's a few potentials that are bullish and a few things that are bearish. I believe that right now it's very indecisive and nobody actually knows what's going on, and we're all just planning our footsteps ahead and trying to implicate and act the best way possible. So again, going off these two trend lines, okay, what you can notice here as well is that whenever you're above this trend line here, okay, so whenever Bitcoin's gone above it, it's in bull mode. It resumed the bull, okay? It had an impulse and it reached that 64K there, which was back in April 2021, okay? So whenever it was above this trend line. Now you can see here again, we got above it, okay? We came up, made a high, fell back to the trend line for support here, and again, had another breakout, putting in a higher high than this 54K. Okay, so whenever we've been above this trend line, it's basically, this is bull mode for Bitcoin. And that's just solely, again, looking off these two trend lines, okay? And when we have been above this trend line here, you can see that even though we was in bull mode, we formed a bearish structure, okay? So we formed something called a head and shoulders here, right? And then once we lose this trend line, we turned it to support. We've literally been continuing between that and struggling to break above that bearish pattern here for Bitcoin, okay? But at the same time, we've held support and higher levels of support on the weekly time frame. So, you know, we've fallen from a bearish pattern off a bullish move into a consolidation before a break. Essentially, that's what's happening, okay? And the same thing happened here, okay? Look, you coiled up here, ran into this as resistance, fell back to support, okay? And then you broke this trend line, okay? You came up in bull mode. Again, you formed another head and shoulders here, okay? And we lost support of that head and shoulders, therefore losing this trend line, coming back into this consolidation period before the break, right? So what you can see here, okay, sorry if that was confusing, but what you can see here is that anytime we're between these two trend lines are where the corrections are occurring, okay, where the corrections are occurring. Now, the last two corrections, we held support and broke out. You see that? We broke support there. Here, we came down, double bottom, we broke out, held support, break out. Okay, so the last two times we've broke this trend line, okay, and the last two times we've come in between these two trend lines, we've actually had a break to the upside. So again, what's not to say that this time around, this is a great opportunity to buy. You're going to slowly creep up, okay, potentially, if you get rejected here again and start to come down, or you put in a lower high than this high, it's quite negative, okay, it is quite negative. But so far for the past year, this ascending level of support has been fruitful buy opportunities, okay? And it's not financial advice, but they've been successful buy opportunities down here, okay? You could have traded the range. You could sell here, buy here, sell here, buy here, you know, sell here, buy here, you know, and you would have been fruitful. You know, personally, I haven't been doing that myself. But yeah, these two patterns I've been watching, and I've just been accumulating along the way down. Whenever we're between this sort of range, you know, just buy in where you can, really. Again, not financial advice, but yeah. So I wanted to point that out to you guys. I hope that made some sort of sense. One bearish scenario here that I'm looking at is if Bitcoin on the weekly here, if we started to do something like this, where you've come down, you've got this low, you've got a lower high. If you come down, create a lower low and a lower high, and if you start depleting like this and creating lower highs for yourself, that's bearish structure. Okay, that in some sense would lead to a capitulation and a breakdown where you lose these lows down here for Bitcoin, the 28Ks, etc., etc. That would be very, very negative. But at the moment, it's not happening. Okay, I don't see that happening. As I said, you've got this ascending level of support here that Bitcoin hasn't lost. Okay, and we're still currently holding it, so we need to watch this space really. Now if I get the EMAs on, okay, on the weekly, this doesn't look too good here for Bitcoin, okay, because it looks like you're coming into some sort of death cross. And if we do look at the SPX and the Nasdaq and etc., the stock market, they're all showing very similar price action right now. Okay, so it is on a knife edge. It really is on a knife edge. Okay, but you haven't lost this support yet on the weekly time frame. And if you look at the monthly, this is another thing that gives it away as well. Sorry. Why I'm still remaining more to the bullish side than bearish, I will be completely honest. But what you can see here, okay, is that Bitcoin again is still holding an ascending level of support right here. Okay, it's still holding an ascending level of support. This monthly close is very important. Okay, you can see that what we're trying to do is close above the 20 EMA. Whenever we close above the 20 EMA, that's a bullish sign. Oh, sorry, I don't know if you can see that, but this yellow EMA that's coming up here, the 20, we came down to it once, we bounced off it. Okay, now we're coming back to it again. Hopefully we can get a bounce here. But yeah, that's basically a quick update that I wanted to show for Bitcoin. So within the next coming days, we don't want to lose the 20 EMA on the monthly time frame. We don't want to lose this. We don't want to close below, because historically, when you start closing below this EMA, and if it starts coming down like this and the red starts curling over and you come under and hit your head, as I said, this is bear market structure. If you lose that sort of pattern there, okay, if you just create lower highs, you're going to capitulate and come down to wherever this red is, okay? And that could be in the low 20s or wherever it may be. But again, that isn't happening, okay? So I'm trying to keep a neutral bias here. It's not saying that it can't or it will. We could either find support here and break out above resistance and off we go, or we could either lose support, turn it to resistance, and down we go. It's a very tight, this is compression. All this here is compression. It's price compression for the past year, okay? So yeah, guys, that's a quick update on Bitcoin. I hope you enjoyed. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace out.